Well, today, June 23rd, we made our way from Wittenberg to Lübeck. This was a day that started as rain was tailing off in Wittenberg. There were storms and pretty strong rains last night, but we got pretty lucky and only had a few sprinkles on this ride. We passed through Zarentin, which is where Mom was awakened by little lambs licking her face after sleeping in a sheep barn, and also Gross Grünau, where she told us the mayor's wife gave them a place to sleep, but would only give them a little milk, even though she had some bread. And we talked about that, and just imagine what it was like for everybody in this area following the chaos of the war and this very, very uncertain and unsettled time. We also crossed from former East Germany into former West Germany. And, it was interesting to see that area that was recovering from having their region split in two by that absurd artificial line, that kept people and friends apart for far too long. Well, how great to be able to ride that without that kind of divide today. And here's some pictures and scenes from our day. Here's where we stayed in Wittenberg, the Schwanenhof. We packed up our things, loaded our bikes up again, and here's a house that was in the neighborhood there. So we came to Zarentin, the little town where Mom had her experience with the lamb. It's on Schalsee, a beautiful big lake that was the division between West and East Germany. We thought this might be a barn like the one Mom stayed in there with the sheep, but we'll never know that. Great little buildings all along the way, more beautiful fields of wildflowers and wheat and rye again. Here is some beer wheat, we think. Ina was telling us the difference. I'm still having trouble. Sylvia with some poppies again. And then we came to these little towns along the Schalsee. This is Gossescher, where I went and did a little birding, which was fantastic. These beautiful brick houses here all around this region. And found some mules. I was looking for sheep. I found these mules. And who knew what you could do with an old phone booth. The others got a bite to eat in this little cafe in Seedorf. So I found them sitting under this pagoda, and they had a nice bite of Kirschenkuchen, cherry cake. And off we went. We passed a huge farm with Iceland ponies. There must have been at least 100 of them. That was a beautiful sight. We had a little accident in at some point along here, narrow way that another biker threw us off. And then we stopped for a snack at this nice nature spot. This is the symbol that they use for nature spots up there. This was along the Ratzeburger See after that bite to eat, a beautiful wooded stretch with some beautiful little buildings. Again, it's typical style of that region. We see a lot of these grass roofs, which were really fun to see. Finally, we came to Lübeck, had to wait for a train here, and we arrived at Haus Magdalena, where we spent the night. Took off our helmets, met up with Ina and Klaus again. Klaus so generously treated us to a wonderful dinner, and now we're ready to make our last trip to Hamburg.